gospel of the Lord. Assuming you think priests prepare sermons, how do you think priests prepare sermons? Well, it varies. Let me tell you about this one. Sitting in the garden, I watched some small butterflies come near the roses. And I thought, that butterfly, on average, will live a fortnight. The average span of a butterfly you'll see in your garden. And I thought, that rose bush, on average, will live 30, 35 years. And as I watched, I thought of the Bible, that our span is 70 years, or 80 for those who are strong. That led me to think about gaps, the gaps between the lifespan of a butterfly and the gap between the lifespan of a rose bush and we human beings. And then I thought, well, get on with your sermon. Christ the eternal high priest. A new feast. There are priests because there is a gap between us and God. No gap, no priests. What is that gap between us and God? To take one, because there's usually more than one gap. We are finite, we are creatures, we are mortal. God is not. We are fallen. God is not. And those gaps then are the reason why we have much to celebrate today. Reflecting, being grateful for Christ as our high priest. Because in him, the gap has been overcome. Priests are not what they were. On the cross, Jesus was a sacrifice. The altar of the cross, we say. He was the priest in that he offered himself, as we've just heard in the gospel, in complete fidelity to the Father. And he himself is the sacrifice, which is why we're right to think of Christ as altar, priest, and sacrifice, particularly, of course, at Mass, the holy sacrifice of the Mass. The gap between us and God is overcome in Jesus Christ because, as it were, he's on both sides of a gap. As God, as the Son of God, he is on one side of a gap, and as a human being like us, he is on the other side of a gap. And in his person, both natures coexist, truly God, truly man. So we started with a sense of there being a gap, but we end, because of Jesus Christ, as high priest, not with a gap only, but with the atonement. Now that's a rather beautiful, deep word, atonement. If you close your eyes for a minute, and I see my brethren have helpfully been doing that for the last 5, if you close your eyes for a minute and put the word atonement in front of you, break it into 3. At one ment. The atonement at one's us with God. We must then simultaneously remember our gap. We're still finite, we're still sinful, we're still weak, but not only. And in Jesus Christ, we have someone, the mediator, the mediator, the one who was also all-sufficient offering, the perfect sacrifice, which at one's us with God.